friends, it's Meridy here with Not Just for Boys Kit Club, and today I'm going to be giving you the instructions on putting together your Auburn Autumn Days kit. And first I'm going to show you what's included in your kit. And the first thing that you're going to get is a sheet of full color instructions, and you're going to be using that to put together your kit along with this video. So now I'll go over the embellishments. You're gonna get this awesome 49 Market vintage artistry in the leaves die cut ephemera pack. And there are 68 pieces in here. They are amazing. I'm not gonna go through every single one on this video, but they are just spiced up, tickets, slide mounts. I mean, there's a few different postcards and words and some papers that we can use to layer, just pattern paper, and all kinds of sayings, pumpkin spice time, cool and crisp autumn days. There are so many things in this. So that is 68 pieces of those die cuts. They're amazing. The next thing that you're going to get is a set of Cartabella Welcome Autumn enamel dots, and it's 60 pieces of enamel dots, 12 each of 5 different colors. And then you're going to get 1 pack of a dozen buttons, Not Just for Boys buttons, that are really just a really cool different patterns, and they're not going to be the exact same patterns as these in this pack, but because they're all different. There's all different buttons. So you're gonna get a variety, and you'll get a variety of sizes, but you'll have 12. And then the papers that you're going to get are 49 Market Vintage Artistry in the Leaves journal cards. So it's journaling cards on one side, and this amazing collage type paper, mixed media type print on the other side. You're gonna get the Echo Park Call of the Wild, and it's called Firewood. It's plaid on one side and wood grain on the other. You're going to get Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Ancestry, and it's called Timeless Treasures, and it has a floral pattern on one side and like an old house elevation drawing on the other side. And then you're gonna get 1 sheet of white cardstock and 1 sheet of, I believe it's called Vanilla, American Crafts Vanilla cardstock. It's textured. So those are all of the goodies that you're going to get with this kit. And the first thing that you're going to want to do is get your instructions, and on the back side of your instructions, it's going to have cutting guides for your papers. And so you're going to want to cut those papers like it shows on your instructions, and I'm going to go do that, and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, so I trimmed all my papers down, and the first thing that you're going to want to do is grab your photos. And for my videos, instead of photos, I use white cardstock to represent my photos. So I've got all my photos here, and I've actually trimmed them down a little. So these two started out as 4x6 photos, and I trimmed 1/4 inch off of 2 sides. So they're really 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. And these 3x4 photos, I've also trimmed 1/4 inch off of 2 sides. So they are 2 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And the purpose for that is it makes it a lot easier to mat on a sheet of cardstock. So we can just go ahead and cut our cardstock. This white cardstock is going to be used just for photo mats. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces that are exactly 4x6. And since we trimmed these pictures down so slightly, they will mat perfectly on there. And then I'm going to cut 4 pieces that are exactly 3 inches by 4 inches. And again, since we trimmed our photos down ever so slightly, the 3 inch by 4 inch photos, they will just fit perfectly on these 3x4 photo mats. So I know it's a little bit hard to see because I'm matting white paper on white photo mats, but I'm gonna go ahead and adhere all of these photos to the photo mats, and I will be right back. So like I said, it's a little hard to tell that I've got these matted white on white, but I do. So we are going to set most of these photos off to the side, and we're just going to work with one of our 4x6 photos right now. And the first thing that we will do is pull out the base of this layout. And the base of this layout is this amazing paper by 49 Market, and I'm just going to go ahead and trim off the branding strip. So I've got my branding strip trimmed off, and we can start getting this layout put together. So you've got a few pieces of paper over here that you've cut. This floral piece. We're just going to do a lot of tucking right now. You've got this plaid piece, which is brown on the back, and I'm going to matte my photo, even though it's already matted on white once. I'm going to matte it again on the brown, and I'm going to kind of tilt it a little like this. I'm going to tilt the picture a little. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Matte that so that these layers kind of stick together, because we're going to layer up quite a bit on this page. So, and then this little scrap that you've had to trim away is going to go right there. And again, I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to the back of the photo mat. I'm not adhering anything to my page yet. I'm just kind of adhering so that all these little pieces can stick together and be easy to move as one piece. Okay, so we've got this so far. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our ephemera, and we are going to layer. Now, I used certain colors that I liked, colors that were in my photo, just colors that made me think of fall when I chose which pieces to layer with. But there are lots of different colors in here that you can use. There's green, there's more of a neutral. You could even use, whoa. You could even use this frame as an underneath layer, you know, like that. Or you can use it as a frame on another page. I don't use it on this layout. Let me try to get some of these things together here. See what else I used on here. I did use this envelope with the little, I used one envelope. I used this postcard little envelope with the stamp sticking out. And then I just went through here and I just started picking everything that I loved that matched with my picture and matched with the way that I want this layout to look. All of these slide mounts have a little ticket inside, and then this is trash. I did use some of these slide mounts, let's see, and some of these tickets. I'm just gonna go through here and do this live with you so you can see exactly what I chose. But again, there are so many things in here that, first of all, this takes a long time to go through, but second of all, you can add more than what I added. You can add different things than what I added. You can add the exact same things that I added. The possibilities with all of this amazing ephemera are awesome. Let's see, I've got just a couple more things here. What else is going on? There we go. Got this one. I've got this slide mount. And then I've got a little thing right here. Okay, I think this is good for this page right now. I'm gonna switch these flowers out for these leaves. Okay, and then we are gonna use more of this on the other side. So we'll just set this off to the side for now. Okay, now we can just begin adhering all of our layers. I'm kind of gonna make these a little neater how I want them to look on my finished layout first, so I know exactly where to adhere these goodies. I'm gonna tuck some things under because I don't want to just start adhering without a plan. Okay. Oh, this slide mount is obviously see-through. So what I did is I grabbed the buttons that came in this kit and I grabbed the packaging from them, and I used not the tag side but the front side, and I backed this slide mount. I just kind of trimmed off what I needed here, and I backed it with this grid. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. because there are some other graphs and grids on these embellishments. So the look of the graph, grid, whatever paper, it really matched pretty well. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little tiny graph grid on the back of that. Okay, so I have everything laid out, and I'm going to start with my very back layer, which is this one. And I'm going to just adhere every single layer one at a time. That way it's less overwhelming. And then I'll do the tickets next. I'm gonna go ahead and do this all on camera. There's not too much. This shouldn't take too long. I usually don't like to adhere quite everything on camera, but there's a lot of layers involved here. So I just wanted you to see kind of the way that I do it. I'm gonna move these goodies off so I can concentrate on what's in the back. And I just want that little stamp to stick out a little down here. And then I will go ahead and adhere. Let's see, I want it to be like this. And now I can see why it was easier, why we kind of had this piece done at the very beginning, just so it wasn't quite so many pieces to be lifting every time. And finally, we will wedge this little strip up underneath here. Okay, and then I can start. I know this page looks extremely detailed and intense at first glance. Oh dear, I didn't trim the graph paper enough. It's sticking out there. Okay, so this page looks a little intense at first. All these amazing mixed media and all the layers on here, but as you can see, once you pick out what embellishments you're wanting to use, it really comes together real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and pop up this thing that says Tradition on some dimensional adhesive so that has a little dimension there. I'll do the same for the Bring on the Pumpkins. I'm going to pop this up too. And in real life, I would use a lot more than 2 little pieces right there, but I don't want to waste video time doing that. I'm gonna move this ticket down just a little so it buries underneath there. And then we'll adhere these 2, and then we can come. Now, if you wanted, you could go even further with this. There's obviously a lot of ephemera in this kit. There's a lot left over. You could put a little bit more up here, or maybe a little tag sticking out here, or you could put journaling strips right there if you feel like you want a little more going on in that area. Or you could put journaling strips down here and a little date stamp or something like that. So we're gonna move on to a couple more details on this. I'm gonna grab a couple buttons. I'll grab a big one and a small one, and then like a medium sized one. So your buttons are in different sizes. They're not the exact same patterns, but everyone has a variety of small, medium, and large buttons in their button pack. So you can at least get, you know, a similar size, even if your button isn't the exact same pattern as someone else's. Okay, so I glued those down with Eileen's tacky glue because that seems to hold wooden things very well on scrapbook pages for me, so I like using Eileen's tacky glue. Then I'm going to come in with these little adhesive dots. This is always tricky with my long nails. So I'm going to add a few dots down here and a few dots up here, and I'm going to kind of add different colors, different sizes. Yeah, but that's about all the dots I'm going to add. And now I'm going to show you a trick. because I thought that this layout really needed a border and it really needed something dark, I thought. So I decided I wanted mitered edges on my border instead of cutting, like gutting a page or wasting a whole piece of paper on the back. I want my border on the front. And actually, when I'm grabbing these, I realized a little bit of the border strip is sticking off the bottom. You can see a little bit of white. So I'm just gonna trim where the border strip was across the bottom, so we won't be able to see any white. And then this is my trick for making mitered edges. It's kind of cute. I have seen other people do this before too, and I really like it. If you wanted, you could put a plaid border, but I thought it needed a darker border. So you're basically going to adhere these on all 4 edges. You don't want to put adhesive on the very end right here. So just put adhesive, you know, in the other places and leave that last like inch on the end not adhered down. Because if you adhere it down, the next step is going to be really difficult and you'll be peeling adhesive. So we'll get all 4 of these on. And I just think this looks so cool when it's done. And it doesn't matter which is on top of another at the end, you know, where they're overlapping here. It doesn't matter, because what you're going to do is you're going to get scissors. You're going to come to the corner. This is why you didn't adhere the edges. You're going to put your scissors under both pieces. You're going to start at the corner here, and you're going to cut right to here. So I'm going to try to lift this up closer. You're going to start right here, and you're just going to cut straight to this corner, just like that. So I'm going to try to do this close to the camera, as close as I can get it. So I've got both pieces of that brown paper, and you just cut once, and then your edges are mitered perfectly. You don't have to try to cut the same angle on 2 pieces. It's so much easier when this is all laid out on your page to just make one cut. And even if it's a little bit crooked, they will both line up together because it's the same cut that you cut with both pieces in your scissors there. I hope that makes sense. It's really hard to try to make a mitered cut, you know, taking the strips by themselves and cutting the exact same angle on all the strips and then piecing them together without a little gap between the edges, but this way it's perfect. And there you have the mitered frame around your whole layout. And we can start on the next side. Oh, if you wanted, you could come back in now and put a little adhesive down here so that the edges aren't lifting. So this would be the good time to come put a little adhesive or maybe a drop of glue if it's gonna bother you that they're not adhered, you know, all the way to the edge. So you can do that on the corners. But that is the left side of the layout, and let's start working on the right side. So for the right side of this layout, we are going to start with the piece of vanilla American Crafts cardstock that came in your kit. This side is going to come together very quickly, and it's fairly simple. But again, the amazing ephemera really pumps up this layout. So you're going to grab these 3 squares that you've cut in your cut guides. You've cut a few squares, and you're going to place them across the bottom. Don't forget, this is the back of this, so it's double-sided. So one side goes with this side up, the other side goes with the wood grain up. And then you're gonna go ahead and place your pictures. Now, on this layout that I'm making right now, I am going to go ahead and leave this as a 4x6, but in my original layout that I made, I trimmed it down so it was only 4x5. So the top is just a little shorter on my other layout. But for right now, I'm gonna leave this exactly like it is. Let's see. And I'm kind of staggering these a little so it gives a little bit of visual interest there on our layout. Actually. And I'm gonna try to keep the same amount of space between each picture. I'll show you, like this little gutter space right there. I'm gonna keep it the same amount, you know, on this side like that. So this is the same as this. And then after you get the pictures adhered down, if you have, we'll do that in a minute. Okay, after you get the pictures adhered down, you're going to go back to your ephemera that you have and pull out the pieces that you would like to use on this layout. I'm gonna try to do this quickly, but there's just so many. Sometimes this takes a quick minute. I know I used the one that says it's pumpkin time and love this. Let's see. Fabulous, I know I used an awesome. You could use Hello Fall. I mean, you could use so many of these. Oh, here we go. Here's the Fabulous. I used Fabulous down here. Okay, and then I used a brown ticket and the word awesome, which might be in my other pile because I took this pile apart. Yes, this brownish ticket and this word awesome. Okay, I think that's all my pieces. I'm gonna see what you're left with, guys. There's so many. You can make a lot of layouts and embellish a lot of layouts with what is left over. It's amazing. So I'm just going to kind of piece these things where I want them. I'm gonna cut this ticket in half, more like 2/3 and 1/3. 2/3 on the bottom, 1/3 on the top, because it's going to just tuck. And then we can start adhering these embellishments. And I'm just gonna pop 2 of them, the awesome and the love this. I'm gonna pop those up on dimensional adhesive just to add a little visual interest and depth to this layout. But you don't have to do that if you do not want to. And then I tried to vary when I made the embellishment clusters. You're gonna want to kind of try to vary the colors. Like, you don't want all of these to be the same color, and vary the sizes when you're picking out, if you're doing different pieces than I used. So vary the colors and vary the sizes and the shape. That's why I used like a circle and the flags. You don't want them to all be circles or all these flags and tags, because it will start, well, you can do that. I mean, obviously you can do anything you want, but a tip that I try to do is just keep a variety so it looks interesting. And I also often, when I'm putting them down, as you can tell, everything is very much touching and layering on another piece. It's not like spaced out down here or floating off to the side of the page. Everything is anchored down by other pieces in the clusters. And that just helps it be kind of more of a visual impact when you've got them clustered together rather than spread out and overlapping. It makes them read more as like one element on your page if they're overlapping. So those are a few tips. I'm sure you've all heard other YouTubers and content creators say that before, but okay, we're almost done with this one. The last thing that I did is right here, it just looked a little weird to me. Like, I didn't like that transition very much. So I grabbed my scrap that I had left of the plaid with the brown on the other side, and I took, don't be shocked here, guys, decorative edge scissors. I know we don't use them anymore much these days. and I just cut a little strip. These are just the little scalloped scissors. There's also a cute one that looks like a postage stamp. It's just like a postage stamp edge. I like my little decorative edge scissors that have the fine little designs. Like this is tiny. I don't use the big designs that often. If you don't have decorative edge scissors and you have punches, you could use a punch. If you don't have punches, you can tear a piece of the paper and just have it be the torn look. And I didn't even do it all the way across. As you can tell, I've got pictures there. I just went in and adhered it right there, and you're gonna see like how much of a statement this makes when I put this on here, and how it makes this be so much more finished looking. And I'll trim off the edge here. But see that side compared to that side compared to that side? Like it just looks so finished when you add this little bit of just a tiny little scrap of paper. So I'll do that to both sides. And that wraps up this layout. It is not, oh no, it doesn't wrap up this layout. I lied. We forgot the buttons, and let's see. I'm gonna grab a small and 2 medium-sized buttons. I'm gonna put a small one down here, a medium one right here, a medium one up here, and I'll go ahead and adhere those down again with Eileen's tacky glue. Can't forget the buttons or the enamel dots. That wouldn't be good. So I got those down. And then we'll come back in with enamel dots. And again, I'm using a variety of sizes and colors when I'm putting the enamel dots down. And if you want to see how our design team used this kit in their own unique way, they do not follow my instructions. They give you totally different ideas. They post on our social media, like it'll be on our Instagram pages. We have a blog. It's on our Not Just for Boys Kit Club blog. And it's on, they always post every single layout in our Not Just for Boys Kit Club Facebook community group, which is where you can share your layouts, whether or not you make them to look just like my layouts, or if you just do something totally unique and different. We would love to see them there. It's Not Just for Boys Kit Club community Facebook page. But this is this Auburn Autumn Days layout, and I hope you guys had fun. And I'll put still pictures at the end. Still pictures will be at the end of this video. There's a photo of this in your instructions that you can refer back to. And then there's also photos of this online in the listing called Auburn Autumn Days on notjustforboyskitclub.com. And even after it's sold out, we still leave all the pictures up there so you can refer back to them while you're putting together your layouts. Okay guys, have a great day. Thanks, bye.